I'm a pirate, yeah, yeah, a pirate, yeah, yeah, a pirate, yeah, yeah. Now let me introduce myself.
Record on OBS too. Okay, you pay. All right. Sunny's like, watch the episode I'm in. Alrighty. Okay, so I get to do the introduction. So, ahoy, welcome to the Crow's Nest. This is season 1, episode 6. Today, Crow's Nest is hosted by Toilet, Emily Night Valley, Felix, Felicia Locris, that's me, and hopefully Batman, May, Silent Fire, if they can join the stage at some point. We'll see. Boo boo boo, a little bit about everybody. Toilet has been in the SSO community for 11 years and has owned clubs for roughly half that time. Toilet owns Crystal Pirates, they co-own Royal Regiment Dressage, and they also instruct for the Dressage Academy. I'll do Batman's intro when they show up, so it's like more makes more
Mhm.
sense. And then me, Felix, I'm leader instructor with Crystal Pirates, and then I also instruct with TDA, SSD, and JDC. I also advocate a lot for volunteering and community engagement because I think that's great. Okay, let's get into the first topic. Yippee!
Yippee!
So, first topic is also on the screen. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Felix, you're fired.
Fired. Add it up.
I forgot I had the checking that I had all my slides in order. Whoops. Okay, there's the first topic. What are the important things you should consider when creating a club or team? Um, so there's a myriad of things. We could go on for hours, but Toilet, if you want to start
hmm
with something and we can hop off from there.
Sure, yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like there's so much we could talk about, and you
Mm-hmm.
kind of just build on it as you go.
Yeah.
Um, Now that I have the benefit of like hindsight, now that I've been owning for a while, I think, in my opinion, it's kind of nice to pick the name and the aesthetic going into creating a club and or team. So then you can like organize the systems and maybe give like the ranks really cute names, stuff like that. I don't know if you have a similar opinion, Felix.
Yeah, so I just saw Sunny say that she can't see the stream. I
Oh,
didn't, I didn't start the
no!
stage. I'm doubly fired. Triple
Fired. Okay, run
fired.
it back, guys. Run it
Oh
back.
no. Oh no. All right, I'm starting the stage. Felix, such a professional. Okay. Oh, I think you have to go into the continue without starting. Maybe it's because you have the perm Sunny as a captain. Does it show now? Okay, beautiful. All right. Felix is
Yay.
unfired. Felix is unfired. And hello, Kit. Welcome to the chaos. We are totally professional.
Yeah.
Okay, so Charlotte, you were saying, think about your
Name and aesthetic, and then that can
going in.
lead to helping with the systems and like giving cute names and such.
Right. So, like, kind of like brainstorm ahead of time, like, or I guess if you're making a club, you need to look at what's available, what the available names are. No, you're
Yeah.
good, Sunny. I
Mhm.
totally
You're
did
good,
not
sorry.
remember. I need to put that in my notes at the top. Remember to start the stage. Um, yeah, because especially with clubs, you have to look at what's available, and then does it make sense? Like, if you're making like, say, like I don't know if scorpion is an option. Like your name is like red scorpions, but then your club aesthetic
Mhm.
is like waves and like blue and stuff. It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah.
those don't really work well together.
Yeah, maybe
Um,
not.
yeah, not the best choice there, but yeah, I agree. Like, if you can kind of like brainstorm like what you think would look nice or that you really like and would kind of motivate you to like work on club things. With teams, it's a little
hmm
easier because you can kind of pick whatever you want. Although I would say
Yeah,
do some market research and make sure you're not picking the same name as another team. So like just go
that's
on
true. Yeah.
Instagram or look through like self promo in several servers and kind of look like, hey, is there a team that's already like called like I don't know like Olympus, for example. I see a lot of Greek themed teams. So like if you still want to do a Greek
hmm
themed team, can you pick like another Greek related mythology name, like maybe like the Harpies or like some other mythological creature? I don't know. But yeah, just make sure
Yeah,
you're not copying something. I mean, sometimes it happens by
you
mistake,
know.
but do your best to avoid it.
hmm
um,
Something interesting that I've seen, Emerald Hunters, you kind of
mhm.
mentioned marketing. They've done some like tests, like where they post like one version of a story and then another version, and then they ask people to vote. So you could also try that with names if you've gotten down to like your top three. Maybe you ask your friends like, hey, which name stands out amongst these? So that's
Right.
also an idea.
Like if you mock up like a little like like a mood board. Like you could like for
Mm-hmm.
example, like have like the colors that would go with it. Maybe like horse options and like outfit options, and then you ask your friends, or maybe you go into like some community servers you're in, or even like open servers of other clubs and teams. Like there's a media channel, you pop it in and you say, hey, I'm thinking of starting a club or team. These are like my top three. And then you ask people to vote, and then you kind of see like what are people most excited about. But sometimes maybe you're like really like, I love this idea. And I would say just go with that one
Mm-hmm.
if you're really like stuck
Yeah.
on it. Because that will keep you kind of like engaged and wanting to like keep working on it if you're really passionate about the look and like the horse and the
Mm-hmm.
outfit and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Seriously. Let's see. Going down my list,
Hmm.
another thing that I had in my notes was specifically for dressage clubs and teams,
Hmm.
level requirement and or more so like knowledge. Like, should they have an intermediate knowledge coming into a club/team? Do you accept beginners? I feel like
Hmm.
in the community there's kind of a split where some people are like, yeah, we start you as a beginner, and
Yeah.
others are like, you have to be at least intermediate.
Hmm.
I feel like they both have their pros and cons, but picking one, and you could always change it later, but picking one would probably be good so you can advertise with that under your name.
Right. Right. I think too what's
Hmm.
kind of tricky there too is everybody like quantifies intermediate differently. So
Yes,
if you
exactly.
are wanting to like set intermediate or maybe even potentially advanced as like you must be at least at this level, then I would say have some sort of dressage test for when people like apply, like maybe like as part of the application process or the interview process, they have a dressage test or in their trial period. And then you can really assess, are they actually um my level of intermediate or advanced? Uh, and then they can like easily join the rest of the members in riding or in routines,
Hmm.
or do they maybe need just a little help to get up to speed, or their definition of intermediate is wildly different from mine, they need to learn a bit more before they reapply.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I feel like
Yeah.
we've also kind of discussed behind the scenes, like whenever we randomly call, we're like, yeah, our version of intermediate is different than other people's version
Hmm.
of intermediate. So no, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I think everybody quantifies it differently, so um
Hmm.
it can be like, I can see how it can be a little bit annoying, like say you join a club or team and you're like, oh, I have to start as a beginner. That's boring. I already know a lot about dressage. But I don't know. I feel like it shows humility and like flexibility if you're ready to start again at the beginner level, in my opinion, and kind of
Hmm.
learn
Yeah.
how your new club or team does things. So like maybe they have a specific method or they have a unique dictionary or the instructors have like a different way of teaching, and starting from that base point of beginner quote unquote allows you to kind of like learn everything instead of like if you hop right into the intermediate or advanced rank, you don't know all the language that they use, the little quirks that
Hmm.
the instructors have about describing things, so you're going to be a little bit behind everybody else. But your mileage may vary. Maybe you're just very good at integrating new people into like a higher rank if they can demonstrate the knowledge and you think they would fit in well. But I guess you see as you go
Hmm.
on, you kind of go, okay, I can do this. This doesn't work too well, so we're gonna do it this way.
Yeah. Hmm. It's interesting that you say that. I add that in my notes as well. Like, beginning as a club, obviously you grow over time, but when
Hmm.
you begin, you probably make systems for say like 5 people, and then later down the line when you have 10, that system's going to change because you have more
Right.
people to account for.
Hmm.
So guess you could say like your club is dynamic. It's never going to be the same. Like you're always going to be gaining and or losing people. So keeping that in mind is really helpful whenever you're going at creating a club/team.
Yeah, like how you need to be flexible and work with who you have. So like maybe you don't want to be super strict in the beginning because that's gonna make it harder for you to get members. But as
Hmm.
you start to have like a core group of people that have been with you for a while and you've had the chance to like learn and grow as an owner, then you can kind of go, okay, at this point, I want to be a little bit more specific in terms of like how people progress through dressage in my club or team. Um,
Hmm.
and then you can get more granular and more detailed. But at the beginning, maybe you want to be a bit more flexible so that you can just get some people in and kind of get moving and grooving. And then once you have that core group, you can start to get a little bit more technical, fun.
Yeah,
Well, I think it's fun. Other people are like, oh, Felix, stop. I think it's fun.
Felix and the spreadsheets we love.
Um, do we want to talk a little bit too about we discussed a bit about thinking about the aesthetics at the beginning, but do we want to talk a bit more about like specifically picking like an outfit or a horse?
Sure, yeah, I'm down.
Okay. Do you have any funkies about that?
I would say for Crystal Pars at least, me and Zero made the club way back when,
Hmm.
and when we made the outfit, we did not care about stats, and I highly regret that decision sometimes because we're really slow. So I would definitely recommend making sure your outfit has high stats if you're doing dressage. But if
Hmm.
you prefer to go for more aesthetic, like we went for more aesthetic, that's also valid. I think our outfit is really cute. But we are really slow, especially whenever I'm doing like routines with other people. I'm like, wow, I need to canter up constantly.
Oh, for the waltz of the flowers,
Yeah.
I've been wearing the instructor's jacket so that
Yeah.
I'm not too much
Hmm.
slower than everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's what I have to say about the outfit.
Uh-huh.
Horse, I guess, kind of just depends on what kind of club you're making.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like dressage, we have like the stereotypes of, oh, you got to use the Frisian or the Lipizzaner.
Hmm.
But if you're doing like a hangout club slash team, it could be different. It's kind of up to you as the owner.
Yeah, I think like from if you're thinking about how it'll look like during routines, from the top down angle, I don't think many horses are obviously very different from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you have a horse that you really like, you could take it. Although I will say, like, if you use it like a draft or a pony, those tend to be less popular. Like people are like, why are you using this in dressage? Or like a Western horse.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you
That's
really
true.
like a Western horse, I mean, why not? Like,
I'll say I knew a club who
we're on a
used the
magical island.
I know a club who used a Western horse and they ended up becoming really popular and they were a dressage club. So
Right,
it is possible
right.
to kind of have it flipped on its head and it
And
will work.
I have seen TikToks where people will ride like a non-standard horse in like friendly like dressage competitions. It's like they can still do the movements even if they're not like bred for that
Mm-hmm.
discipline.
Yes, that is true.
So
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you really like I think of like a really random horse, the curly horse, you could use it as
Oh
your
my gosh,
club
the
horse.
curly. That's crazy. Even I'm like, no, I do not choose the curly horse.
I would just say don't pick a horse that's been retired. So like don't pick a Gen
Oh
2.
yeah, that's
Even if you
true.
love the Crusties, they're on their way out to the glue factory, so don't pick a Crusty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a very good point. And yeah, same goes for outfits with like the quest items.
Right.
Because if people have sold them, then you donezo, they can't join.
Yeah, I feel like SSO should like make an exception that like if you sell a quest item, you can like buy it back because everybody gets them. I
Hmm.
understand like limited edition like things from like birthday, like SSO's birthday, whatever, fair enough. But like I feel like
Yeah,
quest items, if you sell it, you should be able to buy it back through global. But
I
and
agree.
also uh like festival items, maybe avoid those because then if you have somebody join like say in like February, but part of your outfit is only available during like the Halloween event, then they have to wait a while
Hmm.
or like have
That
some
happens to
alternative.
us with Betty, because Betty's only in the Winter Village.
Yeah,
Some people join it, they can't get Betty, and then they're sad.
you have to wait for Betty for our queen.
Yeah, Betty, our beloved.
But yeah, like say for example, you're like a witch themed club and you use the witch's hat as
Mm,
part of your
yeah.
outfit. Have like some alternative for people who maybe don't have it, and when they can't get it at Halloween, then it's great. But otherwise, they have another option to
Hmm.
wear.
Yeah.
And I think too with the outfit, like again, do a little bit of market research. Like, there's some like colorways that are very popular. Like a lot of like, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but like a lot of teams use like red and black, for example, or like black and
Yep.
blue.
Hmm.
Or
Yep.
so can you like, even if you really like that colorway, is there like maybe like a unique like top that you can use, or pant, or saddle pad, or something? Just a little bit something different that makes you stand out a little.
Hmm.
Um, and then also through like maybe the editing style that you use on Instagram or
That's a good point.
TikTok can also kind of differentiate you a little bit because otherwise like some items are very popular like the dressage set hat, the black and white hat. I think a lot of
Yeah,
clubs and
that's
teams use
classic.
that. So is there a way that you can spice things up a little? Um,
Hmm.
so like yeah, do your research beforehand, kind of like go through Instagram, look at what other people are using, um, and then see if you can like inject a little bit of spice, something a little bit different.
Personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
All right. Um, okay, force output, do some research theme. Research. Okay.
Mm,
Do we want to talk about like requirements? Or we kind of talked about that already. Requirements for joining. Um,
yeah.
dressage level or dressage test. Um, I think too a good thing to lay out up front for your potential members is like what are your activity requirements? So
Yes.
be like really clear, like we want you to attend like two, three, four, five, like I don't know how crazy you want to get this
Yeah,
many
yeah.
practices or events per week or per month, and then like clearly explain like either like in maybe you have an FAQ in your open server or on your application form, maybe like a little section that goes like these are the consequences. You don't meet
hmm
attendance, this is how it will go. So they can like understand before they join so they're not like surprised or blindsided by it. Or maybe you explain this during the trial period. Um,
Like
but just like it make it
orientation.
clear from the beginning, because then if you do need to take action, it's been explained or laid out prior so that they're not like going like, hey, am I getting a warning? Like I don't understand. It could be like, well, per like the attendance requirements, you have been missing a lot of things and not putting in absence
hmm
forms. So this is why. Um,
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And I feel like I can speak for Crystal Pirates. We had an attendance system, and thank you, Sunny. I feel like it wasn't laid out very clear, and then Sunny came along, and now it's been 10 times more clear, and we can do what you said. Like, we can link people to it easier. And I
mhm.
feel like there's just a general, everybody has a great conception of what the attendance system is and what the consequences are. So I'm very thankful for Sunny who came around and helped us get that going.
And also too, that's a good example of how that's changed over time. Because when I first joined Crystal Pirates and then became a leader down the line, we like kind of had a different way of handling it, which like still made
hmm
sense. But over time, we've seen like how can we like be more flexible with safe like breaks, for example, allowing people to take longer breaks.
hmm
How do we reintegrate them into the group when they come back? Like, do they need to be caught up on certain parts of dressage? Do they maybe work with a different group? Like if they were gone for like a significant amount of time, like our longest break is 8 weeks or 2 months, then
hmm
they're going to be quite behind their trial batch, for example. So then they would work with the trial batch that came in after them. So kind of like
Yep.
how could we be more flexible? How can we give people more options to take breaks if they need it? But then also be clear of like, if you do take this really long break, then your learning is going to be delayed. So then this is what will happen. And
hmm
yeah, so. But
Communicate
Sunny,
up front.
Sunny, I'm gonna gas Sunny up some more. Sunny gives us a weekly attendance update of like where we
Yes.
are.
Oh
I
my
love those.
gosh.
I'm like, oh, thank you,
hmm
Sunny. This is wonderful. Like we have a bit attendance spreadsheet where we track everything, but then Sunny also kind of gives like a TLDR of the spreadsheet, which is wonderful.
hmm It is so nice. Ooh, that just reminded me.
Hmm.
Like, just speaking on staff as well.
Hmm.
Like, prior to creating a club/team, I feel like we've talked about this in past Crow's Nest, but
Yeah,
understanding that it takes a lot of time.
yeah.
If you want to like go full send on it, it takes a lot of time. Like, I don't know, I could try to like visualize, but I bet I spend at least like 1 to 2 hours a day cooking up announcement formats or working on things behind the scenes, answering questions, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, that's a great point, Kat. We started doing
Yeah.
that recently, like more like in depth with our trial batches, is like taking note of like where they are in their learning in terms of our curriculum. Like maybe we go like, oh, this person really likes demonstrations, or this person like sometimes needs private lessons because they need a bit extra help, or this person really appreciates praise. So like noticing when they do something right and getting like a verbal like affirmation in the moment.
hmm
So yeah, and because that helps us too, because sometimes like say like one of us is in charge of a trial batch, but we're not available to teach like a scheduled lesson. So if somebody else hops in, they can go quickly look at that like those notes and go, okay, I'm teaching this group today. These are the notes that the person who normally instructs them wrote, and then you can go in kind of knowing this is what I need to do to create the best environment for this group.
hmm
Yeah, that's a great point.
Oh,
But going back
mhm.
to what you said, Toilet, the time commitment, I think too that's something you should think about while you're
Mhm.
considering starting a club or team. Um, how much free time do you have to actually commit to this endeavor? And can
Yeah.
you keep that up, like I said before, week over week, month over month, and year over year? Can you put
Yep.
aside 10, 15, 20 hours each week, not only hosting stuff, because at the beginning, usually you're the only one who's hosting, or if you have a co-owner, you two are just the only ones hosting, and all the behind the scenes stuff, like Toilet was saying, social media stuff, preparing like systems or like formats for announcements, or you know, just hanging out with people. So there's like a lot of extra work you need to do, and can you maintain that over time? Um, so I think that's important to consider. And then another thing too is like uh, when you're thinking about making a club or team, what are your overall goals for it? Like, do you want
Yes.
to create routines and compete, or maybe publish showcases? Do you just want to learn dressage together? Like you're not too like focused on competing, you just want to learn dressage with a group, and maybe you want to improve your instructing skills. So it's like, what are your like goals? And of course, those can change over time as well. Like
Hmm.
one thing that I like about that Toilet introduced me to is like setting like a yearly goal, and then we meet every 2, 3 months as a club, and we kind of discuss like what are we doing over the next couple months, like like maybe competition wise, or what trial batch is coming in next, or do we have other goals that we want to pursue? So it kind of helps you stay organized and focused, and also get the input of your
Hmm.
members. Just
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, do you
Mm.
want to talk about playing to people's strengths? I'm sneaking on your
Yeah.
notes there.
That's my last little point. Yeah, I can yap about that.
Uh-huh.
This kind of goes back to staff. I feel like we kind of been on that topic for a little bit. Love
Yeah.
talking about staff, but playing to people's strengths. This is something that I feel like you introduced me to, Felix,
Mhm.
because I assumed like, okay, there's staff, everybody does everything, and we all just kind of make it work. Like sometimes you do things you don't want to do, yippee. But people have strengths, people have weaknesses, and knowing that and allowing everybody to work on what they enjoy, it just helps in the long term. Like I'm trying to let me think of an example. I know you like spreadsheets, Felix,
Mhm.
and the attendance tracker. I could say like I used to be very much like we just have to focus on us. Like we're not going to do community events. Like when Crystal Pirates was just beginning, I was like, we have to focus on us. And I feel
Mhm.
like you've definitely opened my eyes to like, no, you can have fun with the community and you can do collabs. So that's been something where I've kind of changed and become more comfortable with it. Like it's become more of my strengths where I'm like, okay, yeah, I can reach out to people and plan
Mhm.
stuff for that. But old me, I'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that because it was a weakness of mine.
Right.
I don't know if you found anything similar, Felix.
Yeah, I think like for me, because of my background, because I worked as a restaurant manager for a long time, sometimes when I'm talking to people, I can be very corporate just because of that
Oh,
experience.
yep, I remember you bringing this up.
So when I need to like draft a message, I'll like ask for Toilet and Sunny's feedback, be like, am I being too harsh right now? Like add in like a cutesy phrase or like a little
Mhm.
emoji, so it's not like
Emoji. Yeah,
Felix is
yeah,
being scary. It's like no,
yeah.
Felix is just communicating something.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, might just be the millennial in me too. Um, yeah, and I think it's just nice to like, um, yeah, gotta throw the hearts at the end of
Yep.
everything, yeah, or like a cute
The
little
Felix
like
hearts.
dancing bird or whatever. Um,
Yes.
I think too when playing to people's strengths, one thing you can do too when you're thinking about setting a club or team, and maybe you're just kind of like in the beginning stages, is kind of like think about your leadership structure. So like as the owner or the co-owners underneath you, like leaders, how many would you have? Are there going to be too many cooks in the kitchen? So that's also something
Yeah,
we
the
want to consider.
ratio.
Because like in my opinion, your leaders have as much power or almost as much power and responsibility as the owner and or co-owners. Like
Mhm.
they have access to almost everything or everything. They can make decisions if needed. So you don't want too many of them because that kind of like, yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen. So like
Yeah.
you can think ahead of time, like, hey, like maybe me and my co-owner, or I'm just the owner, and then maybe I have 2, 3, 4 leaders, like trying to think about how much you want to do there. And then under that, how many like event managers, maybe instructors, maybe you have some junior staff positions. I think Crystal Pirates does that really well because it kind of lessens the workload of the senior staff. So like maybe
Mhm.
somebody just takes care of like making edits, although Toilet does that right now. But like for example, Mishi and Goose are like our TikTok crew,
Yes.
so they keep an eye on
Streamers.
trends and then they get the group together and they'll film TikToks and then edit them and then we put that on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Um, some people too are like help us with applications, so like they help read them
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like review them and give us their thoughts. Some people help with interviews when we have a trial batch coming in. So it's like, can you kind of like winnow out these smaller jobs? And like Toilet said, there's some people who are very skilled at this or they have potential for it, and they can then work on these smaller things, and that takes some things off your plate. Um, because it can get a bit overwhelming when you're like in charge of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can
Enter
give some
my 200-page to-do list.
well, like for example, like Wilma, who is our diagram queen, um,
Mm-hmm.
and Toilet and Wheel have been working hard on that. But I think if Toilet didn't have Wilma, it would be like, oh my goodness. And then
Yeah, I would be overwhelmed.
Star has been plugging away at the website and doing a great job. So like, yeah, if you
Mm-hmm.
have some Pookies who want to help out, but maybe they can't commit to a lot of time, or maybe they have a very specific skill, then you can just kind of give them like a smaller job or like a job with a more detailed description.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
something very
descriptions are very
specific.
helpful.
Yeah, so Sunny is saying everyone gets to be included in the ways they want to be. Lots
Mm-hmm.
of ideas and creativity can be included that way with different perspectives. I agree, yeah. Because,
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
yeah. And then, too, like, if you, like, say, like, you're only strictly sticking to, like, more traditional staff roles of, like, owner, co-owner, leaders, instructors, I think that's, like, kind of like the core that people usually go with. If, say, for example,
Mm-hmm.
one of your leaders has to go on break and you're like, oh my goodness, now there's this big hole. If you have some junior staff members, then it's like less of like a crisis because you're like, oh, even though my one leader is gone, I know that I have these Pookies kind of helping me with social media. This person kind of helps me plan events. This person like will help with the weekly schedule, like getting people to submit their things they want to host. So then you're not like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like crashing out if one of your senior staff
Yeah.
members needs to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
I see Cat is typing. Does Cat have
Yeah, I see
Pookies?
cat typing.
Oh no, Cat.
Oh.
I think Toilet and I at some point will do a crow's nest just about uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Training new instructors.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, our
but
system has changed a lot with that.
I
It'd
think
be very
too with
interesting.
like the junior staff positions, if you have someone who starts as like maybe they do one small job and they're really killing it, and then they're like, hey, I'd be interested in doing more, and they slowly take on more work, that's one way you could see them as being potentially a good fit for a leader in the future, or maybe like another senior staff position. But it
Mm-hmm.
kind of gives them the opportunity to like show their skills and their dedication, but like in a something less high stakes than being a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any more stunkies on this topic? Oh, is Star here? A wild star has been summoned. We were just singing your
Dun
praises
dun
earlier, Star.
dun. Yeah.
I guess you can listen back later.
That just reminded me of the Baja Blast conversation we had last night.
That was so funny. We were like, we're gonna pay Star and Baja Blast
Baja Blast.
to keep working on the website. We'll
Because you
send her
sent that
Baja
one
Blast.
TikTok. You sent that one TikTok of you working on the website. So you're like, oh, stars in their cave working on the website. We'll feed them Baja Blast.
Oh, it was really good. It was so funny. Oh man. Yeah, Star, I'll do it more if you give me Baja Blast. The purple ones, the Crystal Pirates theme Baja Blasts.
Yeah. The Crystal Pirates ones only.
Oh, that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we don't have any more flunkies on this one, we can proceed to the next one. Okay, boomer moment while I change the slide.
You got it. You got it.
Okay, I'm not fired this time. Okay, open server. I feel like I see a lot of people asking for help with this in like club cliche, and the small club center is back. They have a revival.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I feel like I see a lot of people asking like, how do I do this? What do I need to include? But let me read the topic properly. How do you set up an open server for your club or team? What should oh, Felix, you're fired again. What should be included and how should it be organized?
Should just to make
What
sure we got it
should.
across, guys. It
Yeah,
should be
yeah.
included.
What should. Okay. Do you have any
Let
burning
me scroll down.
thoughts for
Scroll
it?
down to my notes.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those things where it's like I've made so many, it's kind of just like second nature to me.
Hmm.
I feel like something to keep in mind is similar to how like you read a book, like people typically start at the top of the server and then they read down, so that can be helpful when formatting. Just kind of thinking about how people would navigate through the server, and then you can organize categories and channels based on that.
Hmm.
I think just having basic like, okay, here's a welcome section, here's information, here's announcements, here's chatting, here's calls, maybe a club section if you have like lore. I know some clubs have lore. It
Right.
kind of just depends on what club you're creating and what your needs are.
I think like a good way to like kind of like attack this is go into a bunch of other open servers and kind of look through all their
Mm-hmm.
categories and think about like say for example like if I had some people in my OS and they were specifically looking on information on how to apply, how do other open servers organize themselves and try and go and find it in all these open servers and go like, was it easy for me to find? Was it hard for me to find? Um, and kind of see like, okay, this one like really made sense. Like I understood where I needed to find things. Um, I will say there is kind of like pros to like a very like minimal OS where there's like
Mm-hmm.
just like the stuff you need to know. There's like category for announcements. There's one for like about the club. There's one for like general chat, like photos, whatever. And then there's the voice calls. There's there's
Yeah.
there's just the I don't want to say the bare minimum, but like the stuff you need to know, the stuff that needs to be
Mm-hmm.
there. So it's very hard to get lost. So I think that's great. Makes it easy for you two to set up. But then I think the pros for a server that has like more categories is like you can just have more information and you can get more details in. But then I think what's helpful there is really consider like how you're organizing like your categories, like what should be at the top and then going down from there. And then maybe having like a directory channel that kind of like lays out where everything is. So if people are getting like lost and they don't know where to find things, then they can just click on the directory and like read and go like, okay, I'm trying to find this information. It's here.
Yeah.
I think also making good use of like your announcements channel and like the pings that you have is also good then if you have just more information in your OS. So then it kind of reminds people of like, yeah, if you're interested in applying, here's the channel. Hey, we're having a
Mhm.
premiere for a routine. Here's the channel. So good
Do the
use
work
of
for the
like
people so they don't
yeah,
have to dig for it.
yes, because people will are lazy. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Hmm.
They don't want to spend too much time doing it. It's a more
Yeah.
diplomatic way of saying it. So yeah, make it easier for them to find stuff either through organization or through judicious use of pings, like through like the auto rolls and stuff. Um, yeah, because they're probably in like 50 or 100 or what have you
Yeah.
open servers, and they're not gonna like spend a hot minute trying to find stuff. So if you could just make it easier for
Yeah.
them to do that, then you'll have more traction in your
Hmm.
OS.
No, I agree with that. Let's see.
Oh,
Stock other servers. I had that in my notes
I
as
have
well.
a
Let me take
question
that
for you,
off.
Toilet. What do you think
Hmm.
of like naming your categories like important, about us versus like themed to your club, uh
That's a good
like
question.
for example, like say you're like a medieval themed club and the announcement is called like the town crier and like about us is like trying to think what would be an interesting name for that. The king's chambers or the council chambers or whatever. What do you think of like
Yeah.
using themed names for channels and categories versus like the more like very descriptive like this is what it is
Hmm.
names?
When you're just thinking about it, the themed names do sound really cute, but from an outsider's perspective, I feel like it's beneficial to just say like this is the about us section, or call it like about us parentheses, and then you put the themed name, because
Right.
it communicates to a viewer instantly like this is what this section is about, instead of them having to click on the section, go through all the calls or the channels and figure out what it's about, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you're always communicating, and that's just a simple way to say here, this is what it is, instead of making them go on the hunt.
Right. Or
But
it's
I
like
really
you
do
have
like themed
the
it's really
actual
cute.
the normal name, quote unquote, and then maybe you
Yeah.
have like a fancy header. When they click on it, there's a fancy header with a theme name or something. So
Yeah.
then you can have
And then
both.
ooh, yeah, that's true. And then people can also mute and hide the channel if they don't want the fancy name. Or like if you use
Right.
dividers, like we use dividers in the closed server. I know Sunny has mentioned a bunch of times that they don't like the dividers, so they mute and hide the channel. So you can kind of have the best of both worlds in that sense, like make
Right.
it pretty, but also people can hide the channels that they don't want.
Right. Because sometimes I'm in some open servers and I'm looking and I'm like, I'm trying to find like, for example, like I don't know, sometimes I spot people and I want to put the spotted and I'm like, I can't find
Mhm.
spot A, like the name that they give their members.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
where is it? And it has like some really unique name correlated to their theme. And I'm like, it
Yeah,
took
yeah.
me forever to find this. Maybe I won't spot them in the future. I feel bad saying that, but
Mhm.
so maybe in that case, if you really want to do the theme names for like the categories and the channels, you should have a directory that's easy to find. So then people can go, oh,
Mhm.
this is their announcement channel. This is their general chat. This is their questions chat, whatever.
Mhm. Or
Yeah.
if it's like in the general location where it typically is, and like amongst all the servers, I feel like it's typically in one specific spot. That
Right.
can kind of help, but still keeping it just a general name kind of makes it quicker, ease of
Right.
use.
Right. The other thing too
Yeah,
that's
it does.
important there. Sorry, go ahead.
There you go. I was just gonna say it does what Kat said, it does allow
Hmm.
uniqueness, but it can be a little crazy at times if you go.
Yeah. I think what's important too is that you test the fonts that you're using
Yes.
on Mac OS, on Windows, on iPhone, and on an Android if you can. I'm sure there's like some developer tool to look at this, but if
Hmm.
you use some special fonts, they only show up as like boxes on other
Yes, we have
people's
that in the closed server right now because we have
devices.
the Halloween theme.
Yeah, and then so then you made it really cutie. You picked a cute font, and then some people are like, what are you trying to communicate here? I can't read this.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
yeah, so sometimes some people say just use like the generic, the basic Discord font and make it cute by adding emojis, um, or like little symbols or whatever that you can get off the internet. Sometimes those show up as boxes as well. So
Hmm.
also too with your self promo, when you're self promoting your OS,
Yeah.
check that your fonts read across as many devices as you can. Yeah, the symbols get messed up. Yeah, cat. Because you're sending your cute self promo message, and somebody goes and looks at it, and maybe like you only use iOS and Mac OS, and then somebody who's on a PC or an Android phone, they're looking at it, and it's like boxes, 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 boxes.
Yeah. I wonder
Huh?
what this is. Boxes,
What?
boxes, boxes.
Like
More
I
boxes.
think like the maybe you attach like a cute GIF or like a photo, and they're
Hmm.
like, oh, they look really cutie, but I have no idea who they are. Boxes.
Yeah.
It's just like whoopsies. So you know what? I think I'm gonna write a reminder for myself right now so I don't get fired. I'm gonna see if I can find a developer tool for
That'd be so cool.
checking that, and then I'll include it in the description of the video
That'd be so cool.
for checking fonts. Because right now what I do is I check on my phone, which is an iPhone. I check on my Mac, and then I'll go on my partner's PC and I'll check on there. But I don't
Hmm.
have an Android phone, so that's what I'm missing. And I don't have
Yeah.
Linux, although I don't think many people use Discord on Linux. You know what? I might be lying. Maybe there's
Hmm.
tons of Linux Discord users, but
There's a whole community of Linux Discord
yeah, I'm
users.
sure. I don't know if they're big pony game players.
Hmm. No, that's so real though. I feel like we even had an experience literally like the other day. I was cooking up a new agenda format and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, it looks so good on PC. And then you're like, it looks wacky on mobile. And I was like, oh no, I'm so sad now. So I had to
Well, it
redo it.
it was just squished a little.
It was a little squished, yeah.
It was just squashed.
It looked so good on the computer, guys, but then on mobile it was so squished. And I was like, I don't know. I kind of want it to be nice for both, but then also it's really cute. So kind of deciding if I want to pick aesthetics over functionality.
Right. I think that's a good thing too to think about when you're setting up your open server or even like your website if you have a website for your Clever team is I personally have like a giant monitor at home, like it's like really big. It's like 40 inches.
Hmm.
It's basically like a small TV. So I'll do the thing. I'll like post like a draft on the big monitor because I just like to work with it. It's so much nicer. And then I'll check it on my tiny little 13-inch MacBook screen to make sure it still looks nice there too. And then I'll check it on my phone to make sure it looks nice on there too. So like
Hmm.
sometimes you just get kind of stuck in like what you're used to using, like because that's your setup, you use it all the time. But just kind of like consider people use all different types of screen sizes. So
Hmm.
kind of go, oh, it looks really great on my big monitor, but when I go on my phone, it's like I can't even make heads or tails of what this is about.
Yeah.
Although I think Discord does a pretty
Hmm.
good job of scaling, but more for like websites.
Yeah. I was about to
Like,
say websites is a big thing.
yeah,
whenever I was cooking it, I had to make a version for PC, and then the phone one was completely out of whack, so I had to go back and basically remake the website for mobile.
Did it not have the automatic converter?
It converted it, but it was still like
Not
some of
good.
the images were up here, up there. Yeah, Star. We get to think about that. Yeah.
That reminds me of when I used to
Yeah.
work at the restaurant. My boss, he was so annoying. Sometimes he would have people like do stuff without consulting me first. I mean, he was the boss; he could do whatever he wanted. But he had
Hmm.
somebody remake the restaurant's website, and then the guy like made it like nice and fancy. It looked really good on desktop, but it looked terrible on phones. And I was looking at the stats of
Mm.
people who looked at our website, and like 70% were like on mobile. And I was like, bro, you have to make a mobile version. He's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. So I just went into the settings, and there was like a little toggle, it was like optimized for mobile, and I just clicked it, and it did like a pretty good job. And I was like, well, you know what? I
Oh,
guess
okay.
we just saved like $250 of this guy's time of trying
Yeah.
to. Oh, it was so annoying. Anyways.
Hmm.
Oh, toilet is having not toilet, Star
Oh,
is having a
yes.
crash out in the.
Oh, we'll have to look. I'll have to do with Giggles. They're the one who is a website baddie. They probably know the answer when we get with them
Ask
in Giggles We
ChatGPT.
Trust. Oh yeah, Jeff. You can learn anything on the internet. A quick Google search will probably tell us that.
Yeah.
Good old internet. Let's
um,
see.
I see you have something about Discord tutorials. That kind of ties in what we
Yes.
were talking about. Look stuff up.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
look stuff up. Jenny.
or
They're not
Jenny
here. They
or
left. But
or
Jenny or
or,
Batty.
or Open Server Manager Betty.
They introduced us to the lovely life of webhooks and autoresponders, and it's changed the open server a lot. And like you said, Felix, we kind of tied in. Like you can Google and like you can visit non-SSO servers too, and you'll probably see them using webhooks and like fancy Discord bots, and then you can
Hmm.
Google it and figure out how to utilize it for your group. Like in the Crystal Pirates open server, we have the Stick Me bot, and I feel like not many club/teams use that, but I found it through like a separate non-SSO server, and I was like, wow, this
Hmm.
is actually really cool. And then we started using it because we found a use for it. So just being open to taking ideas and making it form to what you need in your server.
Right.
Yep,
Or
self
like
promo.
there's bots too that will like send out automatic reminders. So like we use it
Mhm.
in the quarter deck, which is a staff server, to remind people to submit their events and practices for the weekly agenda or schedule.
Mhm.
But you could also use that note in your S. Maybe you have like a big open server event planned, or maybe just for applications, and you're like, oh, sometimes maybe I'm at work or I have class, so I can't send the reminder at the time I want to. And if you have a bot that you can schedule that with, that can kind of like save you some
Yes.
hassle or some time doing that. Um,
I'm in Krieger Dressage team and they do that. They have a bot. I haven't figured out how to use it, but they have a bot and it's really cool. It will ping at certain times and like you can upload a message into it.
mhm.
And so you can kind of go about your day knowing that it's been handled. So that can save you some time. You will have to like input it into the bot. So you
Yeah,
do still spend some times, but it's like on the forefront, so you don't have to think about it
yeah,
while going. Yeah, it's really cool, Kat. I wouldn't be surprised if you had to buy the bot. I know some of them you have to purchase.
yeah. I saw what was it
It's
back in
really
the Emerald Hunters server. She was talking about how she's gonna like stop using this bot, and she was looking at how much it cost her like per month, and she's like, bro, why did I have this for so long?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's there's some really cool bots out there. I'm still trying to convince my partner to make a Discord bot for us, but he's like, I don't know if I want to do that. I was like, please. Um,
Support our horsey game.
yeah. Also, too, like there's a lot of community servers, like I'm thinking like Club Cliche and Small Club Center, where there's people that are like super helpful, and they'll be like, hey, like if you need
Mhm.
help with setting up an open server, I know how to do auto rolls, I know how to use these bots, and so they'll help you with like the initial setup if that's like something that's like too daunting for you, and then you just need like
Yes.
a quick tutorial on like how to use the bot or how to create new auto rolls in the future, and but they can
Hmm.
do like the initial like kind of like big setup for you or help you with it, and then it's less stressful if that's something
Yeah,
that you
and
really
don't
don't
be
like
scared.
doing.
Yeah, and don't be scared to mess around with bots in like a spare server. I know Jenny does that a
Right.
lot. I do it sometimes, like testing them in a private server where it's just you and maybe your alt account,
Hmm.
and then putting it in the open server so it doesn't like mass ping anybody or do something booky.
Right. Right.
Oh yeah, Mimu is yeah.
Yeah, some bots are
Jenny
like
could teach you
easier to use than others for sure.
that. Hmm. No, yeah.
Yeah.
See.
Um,
Yep, there's.
I think what's also good to think about when you're creating your OS or getting started on it is what's the purpose of your open server?
Yes.
So what are like do you want it to be like a hub for like potential applicants to find out about your club or team? Is it a place where you can hang out with your friends from other clubs or teams? A place for like hosting open events, collabs, that kind of thing. So like what are the jobs that you want your open server to do, and how can you
Hmm.
organize it in such a way that it does those clearly, efficiently, well? What are some other synonyms I can think of? Good. So, like,
Hmm.
yeah, kind of think of like what is the purpose of your open server, and how can you set it up in a way that it fulfills those purposes? And
Hmm.
then again, when you go and look at other open servers, you go, okay, this open server does a really good job at helping people learn about the club and how they can apply. This open server does a really good job about advertising their open practices and open dressage lessons that they host.
Yes.
This server does a really good job about in a, what's the word I'm looking for? Making it easy to hang out and make new friends, like
Hmm.
facilitating conversation. That's what. So like kind of think about what do I want my open server to do, and then how can I go about making that uh, reality.
What's the saying? Like take a page out of their book or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Be inspired by others.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think too, I
Let's
think
see.
I saw in your notes toilet something about like if you like create a new category or like a channel and you want to add to your open server, but you see that people aren't using it a lot and it's kind of just like cluttering things up, don't be afraid to get rid of it. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
You can even have like an archive section where you just put old channels in, and then maybe they can get revived later. They can have a redemption arc. But in the
Yeah.
moment, if they're not fulfilling their purpose or they're just not being used a lot, you can just say goodbye for
Yeah, I
now.
definitely agree with that. Jenny, I believe that was something that she had on her to do. She was like, some of these channels aren't being used. We could definitely reformat things and make it more like interactive or beneficial if we got rid of some of them or swapped out some names. So that'll be
Right.
exciting whenever that happens
Or you
for
can
the
like
OS.
consolidate stuff. So like maybe you have things in lots of separate channels, but you could put it all in one. Or maybe you
Hmm.
use forums or threads are not so
Forms, my
great because they
beloved.
disappear after a while. But like, how can you like organize, like if you have a lot of different channels, can you like consolidate your categories or your channels together so that it's clearer and easier to find stuff? But again,
Hmm.
you kind of get a feel for that with time, what makes sense organization wise. But yeah, don't be
Yeah, and
afraid
what
to
doesn't.
nix some things if they're not working out.
Hmm. Do we want to talk about auto rolls?
Yeah.
Okay. These are my thinkies. I want to know if you agree, Felix. I know we talked about like minimal servers versus like packed servers.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've experienced, I feel like auto rolls, like the rolls channel, whenever it's minimal, like they only have the basics, like what they direly need. I feel like I prefer that over the servers that are like choose your favorite color, choose your time zone, choose your zodiac sign,
Right.
because it feels like a little more like I'm creating a character, which can be fun, but I feel like
Mm.
for open servers, it could kind of go back to what you're trying to get across. But I feel like having just the bare bones of like, here's the announcement ping, here's this ping.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
you have a
think it's
similar
like
experience.
unless it's like relevant to like your club or team's theme, like maybe you are like a zodiac themed club, then okay, that makes sense. But
Hmm.
like I think pronouns are kind of important because it helps people like understand how they should refer to this person. But
Hmm.
other than that, like I don't think you need region pings. I don't think you need, favorite color. I mean, it's fun, but like, yeah, I guess if you really like it, go for it. But
Yeah, if you
what
really
what
like
are
it, go for
the
it.
the important pings you need, and then go from there. Because also too, like I feel like the more roles you have, the more you have to like role wrangle when you're trying to set
Yeah,
perms.
and it can get crazy.
So you're making things a little hard for yourself with that. But if you
Hmm.
can be really organized with how your roles are organized and how the perm levels or like umbrella is set up or hierarchy is set up, then I mean, if you really like it,
Hmm.
go for it. But I personally like don't
Yeah.
even click on those. I'll go into another server and it has like all those like aesthetic roles, and I just do pronouns. I'll usually do age and then like announcement pings if I want them or not, and I ignore the rest. So I mean,
Yeah.
you can have them there, but people might not use them. So
Hmm.
yeah, but
Oh yeah, dressage levels. Hmm.
yeah, just dodge levels is good. Like maybe if you like ping Like you have open lessons and you're like, oh, I'm doing a lesson for like intermediate level writers or advanced level writers. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think sorry, like, do I get attendance points for this? I don't think we've given attendance in the past. I can give you cool points, Star. I can give you
Yeah,
100
you can
cool
get cool
points.
points.
How about that?
100
And
cool points and a Baja Blast.
a bomb blast.
It's gonna haunt you forever, Star. You're never escaping that.
um, what was I gonna say? My brain is not braining. I had to be up too early for
We're talking about
volunteering.
auto rules.
Auto rolls,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
It was good though. I
auto
feel like
rolls.
region roles can be good if say like Evil Kings, they have an Australian side of the club and a North American side of the club.
Mm,
So maybe you just have
yes,
those two. You have like North America, Australia, and then other. So then if you ping like, hey, applications are open for the North American side of the club or the Australian side of the club, or today we're doing an
that's
open
true.
event with the Australian side or the North American side. So then I think then region pings make sense, but
Hmm.
otherwise not really unless you have a really big community server and you're trying to organize stuff for specific regions. But I think within a club or teams OS, unless you have the club on two regions, it doesn't really make sense to me. But I can understand why you would want to do it because it's like interesting demographic
Hmm.
information to know about your OS members,
Yeah.
but not really necessary unless you really like statistics.
Ooh, this just reminded me.
Mm,
Still in the same zone. The auto rolls. Usually we
yeah.
have a channel. Some servers have been using the like onboarding feature as auto rolls.
Oh
So whenever
yeah.
you want to take off rolls, you have to go to the onboarding section. I'm interested to see if that's going to become a new norm in the next few years.
Hmm. I feel like sometimes though, like the onboarding section disappears. Like once
Yes, it does.
you join a server and then if you want to go back in and change your roles, it's like, where is it?
Yeah,
So then I guess you have people in like the questions channel going, hey, I don't want this role anymore, take it off.
that's true. Yeah.
So I feel unless Discord like makes that like a like there's like a role change thing at the top or something,
Hmm.
and you click on it and then it brings up that screen again. I feel like the channel with like the auto rolls will
Still
still
better.
out because otherwise like how do you
Hmm.
find it? Like I don't know where to find it.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of like nice because it kind of like forces people to go through the process. 'Cause I think a lot of times people will join a server and they'll forget to do all the steps, and the onboarding thing kind of like forces them to go through the steps
Hmm.
of selecting
And if they
roles, of
don't do that,
signing in,
then
of
they
looking
don't
at
get
the
the role. Yeah.
rules. Um, Sometimes
Hmm.
there's like, look at this directory channel. This is how you find stuff. So that's kind of nice because it kind of like makes
Yeah.
people kind of read. What's that meme? I'm Jared, I'm 18, and I don't know how to read. It kind of makes them do the thing.
Yeah.
But for roles, I don't think it's the best solution unless Discord kind of gives you the option to find it again.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No, I see what you're saying.
it's a good chunky though.
I hit a tree.
Oh, I think we're almost at the end of the hour. I think maybe what we could talk about at the end is what do you think about, for example, like if you're doing collabs or open events, do you like it when those are hosted in their own separate unique server? Or do you prefer if they're
Mm.
within the general open server and there's like a special category, maybe it's hidden, like you need a role to see it, but it's still in the OS? So like how do you feel about having to join a new server every time there's an open event or collab, or
That's a good
it's in the
question.
open server already and it's its own category or thing?
Hmm. I've done both with Crystal Pirates. We've joined many a collab server. We've had a
Hmm.
collab server. Um, Recently I've enjoyed it being in open servers where you just have to go request a role.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's easier, like, hey, go to this channel, request a role, or hey, go react to this message. Like, it's
Yeah.
easier to communicate that. And then also, like, server list if people are at the max
Right.
and they can't join it, you're out of luck. You won't be able to attend the collab kind of thing.
Right. You have to like
And then,
pick and choose. Oh, I have to leave this other server so I can join this collab server.
yeah. And then also, when you're done with the collab, it's just sitting there.
Right.
Unless you plan to do one, like, in the near future, you're just sitting in the server.
Yeah.
When it could have been like, oh, now you're in this other server with other people and you can have community,
Hmm.
which is same goes both ways for the collab and the open server. But I feel like the open server, there's like a better chance that everybody's already in it,
Hmm.
and it's easier to kind of wrangle people, you know?
Yes. Yeah. I think unless like maybe you want to do like an open event or a collab that's like really intricate and you're like, I need a full separate server to do this like in a way that makes sense. But I think for most
Hmm.
collabs and open events, you can just host them in your open server, make a new category for it with like special roles, so only certain people can see it and access the chats and
Yep.
the calls. And then, like you said, maybe a significant amount of the guests that are coming to the collab or the open event are already in your OS. So then
Hmm.
maybe whoever you're collabing with sends you like a list of their members, like, okay, these are the people that are coming, and you can check, hey, they're already in my OS, or as they join, um, you can quickly sign them in, assign them the role. But
Hmm.
I feel like the open server is easy to use, easier to use for that purpose. But I can understand why you would want to create a new unique server because maybe you really love making servers. You're like, I get to do a new
Yeah.
one. I get to make it pretty. Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I feel bad. Like I get invited to a collab server and then I have like a little folder and I put it in there and I'm like, I haven't been in that thing for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like pros and cons for
Hmm.
both. All right, start typing. Start typing Baja Blast.
I was gonna say $10 it says Baja Blast.
Star had a relevant comment. Oh no. Yeah, I think that's a good point. The TNS server makes sense to me because it's such a big undertaking. I'll give a
Yes.
bit more context. Beck from Everall Hunters organized a big collab routine with several clubs and teams. So there's a dedicated server for that because there's a lot of information in there and a lot of Pookies from different organizations or clubs and teams in it. So it makes sense to have a dedicated server for it. But I think if you're just doing like a collab with like a couple clubs and teams or an open event, keeping it in your OS
Hmm.
makes more sense in my opinion. But you do you, boo. If you love making new servers, go for it.
Yeah.
All right. Jenny's not here. We can't ask Jenny if the audience is satisfied.
Yeah, if the audience
We
is
won't get at our
satisfied.
baguette. Is the audience satisfied? The audience have any further comments or questions before we finish up? Before we wrap up? You almost are? Okay, what else do we need to do, Star, for you to be satisfied? Little interpretive
Okay.
dance. You want a Baja Blast? All right, send me your DoorDash info and I will. No, just kidding.
That's
Sunny is
okay.
satisfied. All right, Sunny is standing in for Jenny. No,
Yay.
I'm so bad about, well, I'm not that bad about ordering DoorDash, but like my partner will look at like our bank statement and he's like, "Why are you ordering so much DoorDash?" And I'm like, "Bruh, I've been so busy. I don't want to cook."
Sunny with the Discord, Burgess is in you with the DoorDash.
It's because there's this 24-hour like bakery cafe that's like,
Yes. Oh, it's 24 hours? Really?
yeah, they're open 24 hours and they're like a 20-minute walk
Oh.
from our place. And my rule is if I want DoorDash, I can't get it delivered. I have to go and pick it up in person. So that kind of like uh, disincentivizes me from ordering too much. But I'll be like, it'll be like 1 in the morning and I'm like working on a paper. I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna walk quickly to the bakery and pick up like,
Hmm.
a donut and like, a London fog. And then my partner was like, huh? What are you doing with
Hmm.
these DoorDash orders? Okay, if the audience satisfied, I think we're done. Yippee! By the way, this was the last
Success.
episode of season 1, so our next episode will be season
Yeah,
2.
it's crazy.
We've been doing Crow's Nests for a year.
Hmm.
It's been a year since we started Crow's Nests.
Yeah, that's insane to think about.
Star, I'm expecting a Baja Blast in the next 5 seconds.
Just airdrops.
Yeah, we started doing Crow's Nest last year. I don't know if it was last September or last August, but we do them every two
Hmm.
months. So we've done
Every 2 months,
6,
yeah.
so it's been a year. Yup. Yup. You feel old, Cat. I don't know how I feel about you saying that. First guest. Yeah, that is true. Cat was our
Yeah,
first guest.
that's true.
You'll get to wear that crown forever.
Aw, okay, now that made me go, oh, yeah, we are kind of old. We've had that's crazy. Kat was our first guest.
Star. Yeah, Cat was our first guest. We've had some great guests. We had Cat, we had Silas, we had Ari, we
Hmm.
had Sunny, and
Hmm.
then a couple sessions where it's just
Vinny, do you
Toilet
feel
and I
Vinny, you better say
yapping,
yes. Yeah,
calling
Vinny
out
better say yes.
everybody in the audience. Are we gonna have the old championships right now?
Oh my gosh.
Dicky Star's gonna be a guest. It's just all about Baja Blast. That'd be funny. Maybe we can have an episode with like Star just talking about the website. With Star and Jenny. Jenny talks about managing the webhooks and bots, and then Star talks about the website.
Mm.
Give you all the inside scoop on that.
I'd watch. It's crazy. I love it.
I'll pull up to the after party. Okay, all right, we're just yapping now about unrelated things. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording. Yippee! Successful end of season 1.
Yes.
Wow.
That is without doubt the worst pirate I have ever seen.
Gentlemen, milady, you will always remember this as the day that you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow.